Ladies and gents, yeah, a small comment just around Acapulco and getting around. I'm lucky enough to get some travel in. I'm trying to get a nice postcard image of you of what is a very beautiful location and fortunate to be also a very lovely hotel. What's my take? It's quite interesting actually. It feels very close in some ways to home. It's warm, and I say a home, I think of Southern Africa. It's balmy and warm most of the time, as you know, don't need any surprises with Mexico. The Pacific truly is, at the moment, very chilled ocean, but just vast and very beautiful. The thing I really love is that it's reminding me a bit of my parents, God rest their souls, who've passed on. There's an incredible venue here. It's kind of on the spur on either side of these rolling bays with ocean there and on the other side behind me. And there's this huge, I don't know what to call them. I don't think a flock is the right word for eagles. Maybe someone will give me the heads up in the comments. But there's a pod almost of these thermaling, I know pods for whales by the way, but it just feels more accurate. Thermaling family of eagles, and there's tons of them, and they're just flying and thermaling off this warm ridge here. So it's just beautiful. Even from the room, from the pool, they're actually even at eyesight level or even lower, thermaling off the warm sides of the mountain. And it just reminds me of my father, who was a sailplane pilot a great deal, and used to tell me stories of thermaling in the Drakensberg over the hot ridge, and how the eagles would treat you with respect and come and join the thermal and thermal in the same direction as you. There was almost a protocol, an understanding, and they treated him as this big bird for which they were sharing the space. It's fascinating, and I was lucky enough to fly in sailplanes, not solo as a pilot, but in two-up situations, and do some flying under instruction. And it was really beautiful. So it reminds me a lot of him. He was great eye. He learned to sailplane, aka gliding, in the UK. If there's ever a harsher place to find warm bubbles of hot air to thermal, and he was one of the best pilots, getting these 3 diamonds in height. So it's just a really fascinating to just feel that connection with him again, because thermaling eagles is just not something I see very much of when I'm traveling, and certainly not in Northern Europe either. But you get it here. And the other thing that brought my my blessed mum into the picture were these incredible bougainvilleas. She was a great lady for just maintaining the garden. She kept garden. I wish I could keep garden like she did, not just keeping garden in the gardening, but just in all senses. Do we keep our gardens well, whether it's our personal health, whether it's our business health, and whether it's all things. She developed this great passion, and she found it therapeutic, and she called it exercise, which it is, especially as I suppose as you're getting older, and very grounding. You know, on that moment, I've just taken my flip-flops off to stand in that grass. Something so healthy about getting your shoes off and your socks off and just standing on the ground, Mother Nature ground, and you need to get more time out to do that if you're in the Northern European climes. Just totally detoxifying, gets your ionization energy levels right and all of that. Anyway, this is a bit of a travel, rambling, health stroke, miney, emotive family video with no real great point in it, apart from just showing you some awesome views. She used to do this gardening with these, and we had these rich pink and purple bougainvilleas in southern Africa, and she used to keep them growing, and they grow beautifully here, and they're abundant. I would argue it's almost a theme of this entire hotel. We have them in jars all over the place, and it's just such a rich color. I'm regularly accused of being the straight man who dresses like a gay man, mainly out of my absolute attraction for these purples and even pinks. Ironically, pink was actually a man color in the old days, and it got turned into a feminized color. Many people don't know that on the history of color, but I do like it. But purple is my best, along with lilac. But what a place, what a place. I mean, just have a look over my shoulder here. What a place. Cost of living, you know, it's cheap. Yes, Mexico has its issues in the same way you would argue as South Africa has its issues, and many other many people call third world states. But another point I want to raise to you is actually the Mexican passport is just one under the sort of top tier EU stroke Irish stroke UK stroke French passport for traveling. There are very few extra countries that you will need a visa for traveling as a Mexican than you would if you're on a US stroke EU traditional Western nation. And of course, accumulating passports is a very smart thing to do. Being wise as to where you get domiciled for your residency is a very wise thing to do. And it's not overly onerous either in terms of what you need to do. However, you will need to come physically to Mexico once. What a terrible burden for you. Anyway, with that thought, I leave you and have a great day and look forward to talking to you all more. I'm going to head on down to the events area and hopefully talk to some interesting people and as we gear up for the big shows. Bye for now. And just as a reminder, this is the Reset Sniper channel. Do remember to subscribe. This will go out only on the Reset Sniper channel, not on the Market Sniper and Crypto. So if you're following those, remember this is the third channel and you'll need to subscribe, otherwise you'll miss this kind of content.